Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the March 17th, 2025 Palmetto State Baseball Podcast. Happy St. Patrick's Day if you so celebrate. This podcast is part of my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina. I offer schedules, scores, rankings, notes, and other news about all 33 college baseball teams in the Palmetto State at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I also try to provide information about video or audio feeds when I can. I post regularly on Twitter, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the handle Palmetto Base. Drop me an email at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Send me a message on X with your comments, criticisms, suggestions, or complaints. Reader and listener interaction help me shape my coverage. I'm trying to adjust my approach a little bit to get more unique content. This past week I did a feature on Bob Jones University's return to the field after the baseball program was dropped briefly for a few weeks back in the fall. That, even though it was a brief break, it really did a number on the Bruins roster. Several players transferred out, particularly on the pitching staff, and Coach Kyle Morrison is trying to recover from that still. They did well over the weekend, though, won 2 out of 3 against Alice Lloyd. Another thing I try to do daily is a video scoreboard on my YouTube channel, including mentioning some notable items. Now, I'm not tech savvy enough to put in video clips, so you're just going to have to listen to me talk and describe things. If you like my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina, please tell your baseball fan friends about it and ask them to check me out. All of my coverage is free, and like always, you'll get your money's worth. Since I have no sponsor, I take a little time each week to talk about the church where I serve Jesus. I invite you to worship with me at Reedy River Baptist Church on US 25 between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in Greenville County. Worship time is 10:30 on Sunday mornings, and we're usually out by between 11:30 and 11:45. For more information, like times for Sunday school, Sunday night and Wednesday night services, the ministries we have, and other information, visit reedyriverbc.org. Come check us out. I believe you will feel comfortable worshiping with us. Before moving on to games, I want to wish the best to Spartanburg Methodist coach Tim Wallace. He stepped aside as coach earlier this year, hopefully on a temporary basis, to deal with some health issues. I learned last week that he suffered a fall and is now doing some rehab work to recover. Get well soon, Coach. We miss you. Now let's take a look at last week. Clemson moved his record to 19-2 and extended his winning streak to 17 games before Notre Dame won Sunday's finale of the Tigers' opening ACC series. Aiden Canuck struck out 12 in 7 innings, allowing a hit and a walk and no runs on Friday night. Jaron Purify extended his hitting streak to 13 games before he went hitless on Sunday. And Cam Canarella appears to be coming around more with his bat as things are going on. He got his 200th career hit earlier this week. Coastal Carolina is now 15-5. The Chants bounced back from a run rule loss to Wake Forest last midweek and swept Georgia Southern to open Sun Belt Conference play. Mike Joyce got the final out of Saturday's doubleheader. He had last pitched in a game in June of 2022, more than 1,000 days, but he missed all this other time because of injury issues. Congratulations to him for coming back. Speaking of Chants pitchers, they struck out 31 batters in the 3 games. South Carolina twice surrendered 2-run leads and eventually lost to Oklahoma in extra innings on Sunday to go 1-2 in the Gamecocks' first SEC series. Carolina is now 16-5. 10 walks and some defensive lapses led to what could be a loss Carolina is going to regret later this season. While Oklahoma was ranked, the Sooners, like Carolina, were pegged to finish in the lower half of the conference standings. Given the other league matchups ahead and the fact that USC is at home, that was a series that Carolina may come to regret not picking up a series win in. After getting swamped in the first 2 innings of the opener on Friday, Winthrop, now at 11-10, bounced back to win the final 2 games of this big South Conference series with Presbyterian. Blue Hose are 9-12. Charleston Southern, now 12-6, and USC Upstate, 8-11, were swept by conference foes High Point and Radford, respectively. High Point rallied late in Game 3 on Saturday night. It was a doubleheader to complete the sweep. Radford hit 8 home runs in 3 games against the Spartans. College of Charleston got a pair of wins over a winless Dartmouth team. The Cougars are now 12-5. Game 3 was rained out. Apparently the weather in Charleston is a lot rougher than it was in some other parts of the state as they suffered from the after effects of that storm that went across much of the southeast. Wofford, now at 14-6, won the final 2 games of this 3-game non-conference series with Elon. First 2 games were up in Elon. The final game, was in Spartanburg. And in that game, The Terriers rallied from being down 5-0 to win 7-6 when James Lehman hit a walk-off two-run double in the ninth inning on Sunday. Terriers are doing well. A grand slam as part of a 5-run 10th inning on Saturday allowed Kennesaw State to split its series with the Citadel. The Citadel's now 11-9. Sunday's game was washed out, again, much like what happened with College of Charleston. Coker, now at 19-8, is perhaps the hottest Division II team in the state after its home sweep of Wingate. Lander's also hot. The Bearcats, 19-7, rebounded from a midweek loss to sweep Columbus State. North Greenville had a rare sub-500 week. They went 1-3. They're now 21-6. The Trailblazers lost 2 of 3 to Barton. Francis Marion, now at 19-8, took 2 of 3 at Belmont Abbey and missed a sweep only because the host Crusaders scored 2 in the ninth to walk off Game 3. Southern Wesleyan, now at 9-20, got a 2-1 series win over Erskine, who's 14-13. Cam Mitchum extended his Warriors career record school record for home runs and now has 30. Anderson, now at 16-10, took 2 of 3 at Tusculum, and their only loss in the series came in 11 innings in Game 3. Newberry, now at 14-13, got that nice midweek win over North Greenville, but lost 2 of 3 in a home series against Mars Hill. Benedict, 8-8 now, lost 2 of 3 at Savannah State in SIAC play. Limestone, which is 12-15 now, played 3 consecutive competitive games against nationally ranked Carson Newman, but came home with 3 competitive losses. USC Aiken, now at 13-13, struggled through an 0-4 week. USC Beaufort, now at 3-24, has lost its last 14 games, and Claflin, now at 5-17-1, has lost its last 9. Among NAIA schools, Spartanburg Methodist, now at 8-15, has won 6 of his last 10. They're 10-15. Have won 8 of their last 10 games. Voorhees is now 10-9. That was entering a doubleheader on Monday. They actually won those 2 too, so they're 12-9. They've won 6 straight. Columbia International, now at 14-13, was able to knock off a ranked Johnson University team once in a 3-game series. Morris, though, suffered 4 losses at Fort Lauderdale and fell to 0-20 on the season. Bob Jones, at 6-15, was 3-2 last week, and that win over Alice Lloyd is their first season series win of the year. Among junior colleges, Florence Darlington Tech is now 23-7 and on a 9-game winning streak. USC Lancaster is at 11-15. USC Sumter is at 10-16, and USC Salkehatchie is at 1-24. USC Union is now at 20-4. And unfortunately for them, all 4 losses have come in the Region 10. Let's take a look at the conference standings. Clemson's now at 2-1 in the ACC, is in a 4-way tie for 4th place behind Wake Forest, which is 6-0, Florida State, which is 3-0, and Stanford, which is 5-1. Let's see. At 3-0, Coastal Carolina shares the Sun Belt Conference lead with Appalachian State and Georgia State. South Carolina's 1-2 record in the SEC is good for a 4-way tie for 9th. Winthrop's 2-1 record in the Big South Conference has the Eagles in a 2-way tie for 2nd, a game behind High Point and Radford. PC at 1-2 is tied for 5th, and Charleston Southern and USC Upstate at 0-3 are tied for 8th. Among NCAA Division II schools, North Greenville at 10-5 in Conference Carolinas trails Mount Olive by 1 game, and the Trailblazers are in a 3-way tie for 2nd. Francis Marion at 9-6 in the league is 5th. Southern Wesleyan is 9th at 6-9, and Erskine is 10th at 4-8. Lander shares the Peach Belt Conference lead with Georgia College and North Georgia. They're all 3-8-1. USC Aiken is tied for 5th at 5-4, with USC Beaufort at 1-11, 9th, and Claflin at 0-9, 10th. Benedict is 6-8 in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference and in 8th place. Among NAIA schools, Columbia International is in 10th place in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, 6 games behind leader Tennessee Wesleyan. Spartanburg Methodist has a 3-0 record in the Continental Athletic Conference, while Morris is 0-7. Some teams haven't even started conference play yet. Voorhees is now 96 in the HBUAC East Division, and they're 5 games behind Talladega in the first place Talladega. In Region 10, Florence Darlington Tech at 10-2 has a 2-game lead over both USC Union and Gaston College, who are at 8-4. USC Lancaster is 4 back at 6-6, while USC Sumter is 3-9, and USC Salkehatchie are 1-11. I named Florence Darlington Tech my team of the week from March 10th through 16th after the sweep of Sumter. The Stingers have won 19 of their last 21 games after starting 4-5. Clemson remained number 1 in the Palmetto State baseball rankings for NCAA Division I teams, although there are lots of shifts in the other areas below. North Greenville, Columbia International, and FD Tech remained atop the other division rankings in my polls. So, on to this week. There are several interesting matchups in the midweek. First-year Citadel coach Russell Triplett takes the Bulldogs up to Clemson for a Tuesday-Wednesday series with the Tigers. Triplett played for Clemson, but later became head coach at Newberry and moved on to Citadel for this year. College of Charleston and South Carolina meet for the first time in several years with a Tuesday matchup at Sager Park, home of the minor league Columbia Fireflies on Bull Street. Also on Tuesday, Lander is at Francis Marion and Limestone faces Anderson at Fluor Field in Greenville. Presbyterian and Wofford head up I-26 to take on Western Carolina and UNC Asheville, respectively. USC Union heads into Tennessee to face junior college powers Walters State, and Spartanburg Methodist is at home against Georgia Gwinnett, which has been built into an NAIA powerhouse over about the last decade. Also on Tuesday, Coastal Carolina is at Campbell, and that's a tricky game. On Wednesday, Wofford and USC Upstate meet at Fluor Field. Winthrop is at College of Charleston, and USC Aiken is at Newberry. Conference play begins in the Coastal Athletic Association and Southern Conference this week and continues in the other Division I leagues. Clemson is at home for another ACC series, taking on the first-place Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. South Carolina is at Arkansas. The Razorbacks went 2-1 last week. Coastal Carolina hits the road to face Troy, which is sitting at 2-1 in the Sun Belt. College of Charleston begins its CAA schedule with a home series against Elon. The Citadel opens Southern Conference play against Mercer. Wofford has another week out of conference action. They're playing at home against Villanova. In the Big South, USC Upstate and Charleston Southern, both looking for their first conference win, meet in a series in Charleston. Presbyterian and Gardner-Webb play in Clinton, and Winthrop has a non-conference home series with St. John's. Elsewhere, North Greenville visits Young Harris in a matchup of 2 of the 3 teams sharing second place in Conference Carolinas. Southern Wesleyan is at Francis Marion, while Erskine plays host to Belmont Abbey. Lander and North Georgia will play in Dahlonega to break their portion of the 3-way tie for first place in the Peach Belt. Claflin plays host to Georgia Southwestern. USC Aiken is at Columbus State, and USC Beaufort visits Augusta. In the South Atlantic Conference, Limestone is at Coker, Newberry is at Catawba, and Anderson plays host to first place and nationally ranked Carson Newman. Bob Jones and Voorhees have home series this weekend, while Spartanburg Methodist, Columbia International, and Morris are on the road. In Region 10 Junior College, the top matchup is Florence Darlington Tech at USC Union. Elsewhere, USC Salkehatchie is at USC Sumter, and USC Lancaster is at Gaston College. The entire state schedule, including times, is always available on the calendar at PalmettoStateBaseball.com, and I also publish a post daily and weekly, and it's setting up the weekend also. If you enjoy my podcast and other coverage of college baseball in South Carolina, please tell your baseball fan friends about PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Also, let me know what you think I could do better. I want your input to help me shape my coverage of the best sport God ever allowed to be invented. Email comments, compliments, criticisms, or suggestions to me at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Remember to check out YouTube, my YouTube channel for the videos. There's a link on the Palmetto State Baseball homepage. As a reminder, I invite you to come worship with me at Reeder River Baptist Church, US 25 North between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in Greenville County. Worship time is 10:30 on Sunday mornings. I hope you'll discover that we are a friendly church and want to worship with us regularly. Learn more about our website, about our church at our website, reederriverbc.org. Thanks again for listening to the March 17th, 2025 episode of the Palmetto State Baseball Podcast. This is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com saying, it's a beautiful day for baseball. Let's play two.